Well, folks, remember in Ontario before the pandemic virus took effect, COVID-19 or coronavirus if you prefer, and the top story was the various school boards, the teacher strikes. They were ostensibly striking because of class size and that other bogeyman, e-learning. And of course, the government caved on those, and they were still upset because, well, as it turned out, it wasn't all about the kids. It was about the money, namely that 2% salary increase. Well, here we are in lockdown mode. People are going stir crazy with the self-imposed quarantines going about. And I'm going to introduce you right now to one parent who is saying thank goodness for e-learning because it's been a godsend to him, his wife, and their 8-year-old daughter. Welcome to Vadim Sloutsky. How are you doing there, sir?
Well, much better than other parents are doing, I guess. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, and it should be pointed out, Vadim, that your child goes to a private school. So they got on this e-learning. It was using the online conferencing portal called Zoom very quickly. And how has your daughter adopted, your 8-year-old daughter, to this Zoom learning?
Well, kids adapt to technology very quickly, and it was, but it's not only for kids, it's also for parents and for teachers to get adapted to the tool. It took a day or two to get adapted, and then it went very smoothly. The kids are not only that they're doing regular classes like math or English or French, but also they do gym classes and dance classes. I was amazed how easy and intuitive and fun it became for all the kids and parents as well. It's a learning curve. And what's worth noting is that our small private school was able to launch right on Monday, once the March break was over. And I give them a lot of credit for that they were able to adapt to the times and necessity of parents. And they launched their system very quickly and efficiently.
You know, that's just incredible.
And the same cannot be said for public schools. All my friends whose kids go to public schools are crying out loud because they are unable to work. They cannot do much. They're paralyzed by sitting at home with their kids, and the Board of Education decided that it's the parents' duty to teach them.
You know, and that's what you said, Vadim, when you reached out to us, that the Toronto District School Board, the York Region District School Board, two of the biggest school boards in the GTA, aren't doing this. I did, in fairness, I reached out to the two school boards. York Region didn't get back to me, but TDSB did, and they're doing research right now, and hopefully next week they're going to get the kids on some kind of an e-learning portal. I believe the spokesman said Google Meet, which is kind of like Zoom. But here's the thing, Vadim. As I said in the preamble, the teachers' unions and the teachers themselves, when they're out in the picket lines, were saying how horrible e-learning was, that you can't possibly teach kids with e-learning, and yet that doesn't seem to be the experience you've observed from your daughter undergoing lessons via Zoom, does it now?
I guess I'm not sure what exactly they refer to, but given the circumstance where we were forced to move into e-learning environment, I found it very intuitive and very effective way. And by the way, in 2020, today, it's not something new and unique. The whole world, my mother-in-law actually finished her MBA online, and it took her 2 years. She actually used the Zoom as well. And guess what? It was an Australian MBA program. So the whole world is using distant learning using some teleconferencing tools. So I'm not sure why our TDSB or York Region District school boards were not prepared for those times to launch quickly and easily these kind of programs. And it's yet again, it's much worse than when they were picketing around the schools, crying out loud how they care about the future of our kids. Now in this crisis times, we see exactly how they care about our kids and the future of our kids. And mind you, our kids, it's our new generation. What kind of lesson they learn from the action of their teachers? I don't think that's the action I want my kids to learn from the teachers who do not give a damn about the kids.
No, I think you're right. And I think e-learning, it's not about this being an inferior education system. This is all about protecting teachers' jobs. But, and I guess with the big school boards, you think they would have had something up and running by now. The kids have been out for a few weeks now. It's baffling how long these bureaucracies take to get these things up and running. And the other thing I was going to say, Vadim, I was listening to a talk radio, a roundtable today, and they were talking about how parents are struggling with what they've been given by the school boards. And the moral of the story, if you will, by the leftist progressives on this roundtable was that, you see, we must appreciate teachers. They do a hard job. It's not as easy as it looks. But the key thing, Vadim, it was not like what your daughter has, where a teacher from her home is teaching. This was about school boards just uploading links to learning. It's not comparing apples with apples, and yet they were trying to, I guess, present this narrative as a aha gotcha moment. You see, e-learning isn't the utopia you may think it is. What do you think about this kind of media narrative that some people are portraying right now?
I think it's a lack of accountability and responsibility. And beyond that, it's just a mismanagement of public funds. They have tens of thousands of people employed by the boards. And let me ask you, what are they doing, those people? They are comfortably sitting on their full-time salaries, but I don't see any fruits of their work. I don't see the results. And those are public funds. We are the taxpayers. We pay for their salaries. Yet in private business, I'm in private business. If my employees do not perform, we fire them. It's the reality of life. However, in our society, somehow they decide that they can use or misuse public funds just like that.
Yeah. And
I think our Minister of Education, and I'm not sure if he's qualified to do his job, actually, but they have to relook at the whole education system and be competitive in the global level. Today, we don't live in Canada. We live in a global world where the kids of tomorrow, in 10 or 20 years, they will have to compete with their peers from other countries, from Asia, from Russia, from Israel, from Middle East, from everywhere. And if they're not competitive, guess what's going to become of this country? So just draw a conclusion.
100%, Vadim. We got to wrap it here, but thank you so much. And I know from past experience, when it comes to public sector unions, really their mantra is, we are entitled to our entitlements, and that is where the story ends. So good luck to you, my friend, as a proud father, and good luck to your daughter. And I hope she gets a wonderful education during this terrible pandemic crisis via Zoom. So thanks again for joining me.
Thank you, David. The pleasure is all mine, and keep doing your great job. Love your shows, and love to support you guys.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a good day. Hey, folks, as you know, Rebel News doesn't accept a penny of government funding, nor would we take it if it were offered. We depend on you, our viewers, and I know this isn't the best time to ask for a donation, but I must ask nevertheless. If you can help us, please go to our new website, helprebelnews.com. That's helprebelnews.com, and contribute whatever you can so that we can continue to bring you the other side of the story.